So when I first started P90X, I looked at the chest and back routine and I saw a lot of push-ups and a lot of pull-ups. And being 270 pounds when I first started, that scared me. I was like, how am I supposed to do a pull-up with this much weight? How am I supposed to do enough push-ups at this weight to really do me any good? So, that scared me a little bit. But I went ahead and started and did it anyways. And, I could only do 8 push-ups when I first started. And that was just at the standard width push-up, nothing fancy, no extra, hand width moves or whatever, just your standard push-up. And when I say I could do 8, I could barely do 8. And I really wasn't going all the way down to the ground either. And then I'd have to go down to my knees just to do a few more, just so I felt like I did more. 8 just was such a small number in my mind. But I did it anyways, and I was a little embarrassed at first because I could only do that many. But, that's just how out of shape I had gotten. Now, pull-ups, I tried. I couldn't do one pull-up at all. I had to use the chair. And the chair is just a way to modify doing pull-ups. Now, they show you exactly how to use it, but basically you're putting, one foot up onto a chair to help you, pull yourself up during your pull-up. So anyways, I could only do 8 push-ups, and I couldn't even do one pull-up when I started. But I used my worksheets. I wrote down how many I did, what modification I used, and so each week I kept doing it, and I would keep seeing my results each week. I'd say, hey, I could do 2 more push-ups, or I can do 1 extra pull-up using the chair. But I kept using my worksheets, so that I could see those results. And it's a great tool to use. So for the chest and back routine, you really want to make sure you use your worksheets. So I got through my first full 90 days. I used the chair all the time for my pull-ups, and I just kept working at my push-ups. They weren't great, but I was getting a lot better. I was able to go down further. So anyways, the second time I went through P90X all the way through, for the pull-ups, I decided that I was going to use the bands. And it shows you exactly how to do that in the video. Your biggest thing you want to make sure you do is when you're pulling your bands towards you, you want to make sure it's in the same motion as if you were doing a pull-up on the bar. But it'll show you exactly how to do that. So the second time through, I used just the bands for my pull-ups, kind of as a change of pace. And I really think it helped, because then the third time that I went through P90X doing pull-ups, I was able to do 10 pull-ups, no chair assist at all. So that was a huge improvement. And that just showed me right there that, my persistence and work really paid off. And doing the program the way it was laid out really works. So that was great. I went from not even doing 1 pull-up to doing 10. And if you haven't done pull-ups in a long time, doing 10 pull-ups, it isn't easy, especially right off the bat. I can do a few more now, but it's been a while since I've done my 3rd round. But that's kind of where I started and where I went through that first 3 rounds. My push-ups, skyrocketed. I was able to do quite a few. And I was going all the way to the floor and back up the way you're supposed to. So I want to just give a little tip for beginners. If you're going to start doing P90X and you're going to do the chest and back routine, don't get scared because it looks too hard. Because it may look too hard at the beginning. But there are so many ways to modify each move that still allows you to get and see the results that you want to get. You just have to know, don't try to do too much at first. If you can't do a full pull-up, don't just get discouraged and say, okay, I'm just not going to do it. Use the chair or use what else they say to do, in the videos. Because the more you end up doing it, then the more you can move up and do that next difficult move. You know, so you go to using the chair all the time to doing 3 or 4 pull-ups, and then you have to use the chair to do another 3 or 4. You know, that's a big step. And then you go to not using the chair at all. So, you know, just progress from one to the other. You know, use the modification and then move on up. It really does work. And don't expect to be able to keep up with the people in the videos. You know, that's something that really got me down when I first started was, man, you know, they're doing all these push-ups and all these pull-ups. I'm hardly doing any compared to them. You know, and I got discouraged at first. But the more I thought about it, and you know, Tony even says in the video, you're not supposed to keep up with us. You're doing the program to get to where they're at, or to even get beyond where they're at. So just remember, you're not supposed to do as much as they are in the video, but it gives you more time to rest and recuperate between moves. And you'll work up to getting to where they're at in the video. So just don't get discouraged. So anyways, the P90X chest and back routine, great workout. I always felt the burn during the workouts, you know, doing those push-ups and pull-ups. And then the next day, I always felt it, the little soreness that you get the day after a good workout. I felt that every single time. The biggest reason why I felt it every time was because I kept pushing myself to do more, to go further, to do the harder way of doing it each and every time to get the most out of my workout. And that's what you really need to do with this workout. Because you could do this all the time, this workout, every single week. And if you keep pushing yourself, you can always do more or do another type of modification to make it more intense. You should never really get tired of doing this workout, or it should never get too easy for you. If it ever does, then you're just not pushing yourself hard enough. That's how good of a workout it is. I absolutely love it. You know, so now I can do 30, 40, 45 push-ups depending on which type it is. The diamond push-ups I can probably do up to 20. Those are really hard. But that's just where I've progressed to, and I can do about 15 pull-ups with no chair. So that's just where I'm at in the chest and back. If you have any other questions about it, please let me know. Fantastic workout in P90X. Adios.